AIDA, attention, interest, decision, action. Attention, do I have your attention? Interest, are you interested? I know you are, because it's fuck or walk. You close or you hit the bricks. Decision, have you made your decision for Christ? And action.
In this video, I'm going to share with you how you can script the perfect video ad using the classic copywriting formula of AIDA. If you're new to my channel, my name is Anand and I run a marketing agency out here in Silicon Valley, and this is the exact framework we use for all of our clients. Video advertising is an extremely powerful tool because literally all social media networks now are going video first. Whether you look at YouTube, you look at LinkedIn, you look at Facebook, Instagram, IGTV, you name it. These are all becoming more and more video-based platforms, and people are also consuming a lot of video. So it kind of makes sense that when you have a video ad, it really can help you grab people's attention. Now I'll be going into a lot more detail on this very channel about how you can set up these ad campaigns, but for this video we're just going to focus on the creative of the ad, which is how do you actually get started? How do you get started with just scripting the ad? As you can see over here, this comes from the classic copywriting formula called AIDA, which stands for attention, interest, desire, and action. And you have to take your viewers through these steps step by step. This is what a typical marketing funnel looks like, and whether you're advertising or you're doing like content marketing, you have to follow this particular step because that's just how people's brains work, and it's basic psychology. So the very first step is you want to grab people's attention with your ad, and attention is the real asset these days because every single company is fighting for your attention. You know, if you're a consumer, you won't be able to count how many ads you see every single day. Whether you are on social media, you're watching TV, you're listening to the radio, maybe you're driving down the street and you see a billboard. There's all these different companies and sellers that are fighting for your attention. So how good you are grabbing people's attention is the way to go. And first of all, you have to go where your audience's attention is. So let's say you identify that your audience is on Facebook, then you would create an ad and put it in front of that audience on Facebook. If you think your audience is going to watch YouTube videos or particular types of YouTube videos, then you can advertise on those particular videos so that before that video starts, you can have a pre-roll ad. How do you grab people's attention? And this is known as the hook. Like in terms of copywriting, this is typically your headline. So you want to start with a strong hook. The easiest way of getting people's attention is to call them by name. But in this case, when you're making an ad for a large audience, you don't know their name specifically. The next best option is to actually address them and just some sort of thing that speaks to their identity. I started this video by saying that, are you looking to get started with video ads, or are you looking to make ads that actually convert? And this is because typically people who are going to watch this video are either beginners or maybe they've tried some ads and they didn't actually work for them. Say something that grabs people's attention right away, and you want to get them to say yes in their head. I'll give you another example. Last week I attended an event here in San Francisco. I got to know about the event through a Facebook ad, and that ad said, are you a new entrepreneur based in San Francisco? Which is exactly what I do, right? I'm a relatively new entrepreneur and I'm based in the city. So that grabbed my attention, and it was so effective that I actually clicked on it. I went to the next step and I actually attended that event. That's the power of how you can grab people's attention. The last thing you want to do is make an ad that's very general, doesn't speak to anyone. Because the number one rule of marketing is if you try to appeal to everyone, you're not going to appeal to anyone. Now the second step is the interest phase. Now not everyone whose attention you grab is going to move to the interest phase, but some of them are going to show some interest that, hey, I am interested in what this person has to say. Now this is very crucial. You may want to write this down. There's one thing that you may have to insert between the attention phase and the interest phase. and that is sometimes you may be grabbing people's attention by identifying their problem. That's another way to do it. But at the same time, you don't want to blame those people for their problems, because when you start blaming them, then it's gonna automatically create like a defense mechanism. They're gonna put up a shield and they're gonna stop listening to your message. So an example of this could be something like, do you want to lose 20 pounds this year? Let's say you're targeting that weight loss market, but you don't want to blame those people for the weight loss. So you want to put a statement of empathy where you empathize with their situation, and you could be like, are you looking to lose 20 pounds this year, and have you tried all the techniques out there but nothing seems to work for you? Well, then this is actually not your fault, because there's so many fad diets out there that most people don't even know where to begin. So this, you're empathizing with the situation. Don't make them feel like they're lazy, or they're doing something wrong, because they're gonna stop listening to your message. So empathize with the situation and then move on to the interest phase. Now in the interest phase, you can continue asking them questions or make statements that are specifically addressing certain problems. So in my case, I could say something like, the attention phase is, are you looking to get started with video advertising, or maybe you've created some ads but they're not converting? Well, this is pretty common because most people don't follow this formula for creating these ads, and that's why when they actually put out the ads out there, no one watches them and no one clicks on to go to their website. So that's one way of getting them interested. They're telling them more about the problem, addressing each problem. Or if you go back into the real estate example, if you're a real estate agent looking to do video ads, then you could address specific pain points. Maybe it could be the rising cost of housing in the area, maybe how difficult it is to find the right house, maybe how difficult it is with the taxes or getting a mortgage or getting a loan. All those issues you can address. Don't list out like 10 different problems, but maybe 1, 2, or maybe 3 problems. Just address them directly, and that's going to help people get even more interested in what you have to say. So you started with the attention, you address them directly, then you went on to interest, where you address specific pain points they're having. Then you move on to the desire phase, where you make them desire what it is that you're offering. And how do you do this? Well, in the interest phase, since you address the pain points, in the desire phase, you want to show them the positive result or the transformation that they could achieve. What's the ultimate end goal? If you talk about like video marketing, then I could be like, but what if I could show you a way how you can use this exact formula and increase your conversions for your ads by 10 to 20%. So if you go back to the real estate example, you could be like, hey, I understand that buying a house in San Francisco is not exactly the easiest because of all these issues. But what if there was another way? What if I showed you another way of buying your next dream house, which is a hassle-free way of doing things, and you will also get approved for your next mortgage right away. So for this, the desire phase, you're actually going to have to go deeper into what people actually want. So don't just focus on the what, but also the why. If you're focusing on, let's say, the weight loss market, then yeah, people want to lose weight, that's the what, but why do they want to lose the weight, right? Maybe they want to lose weight because they want to look better, they want to fit into their clothes, maybe they have issues with confidence, health issues, all those other reasons, right? So you want to create that desire and show them the end result, So if you're focusing on the weight loss market, you can say something like, what if I showed you a way how you can not only lose 20 pounds in the next 3 months, but you'll finally be able to go to the beach and take off your shirt with confidence. Creating that desire, this is what I want. After you've created that desire, you can move on to the last phase, which is the action. You direct them using a call to action, because if you don't direct them where to go, yeah, you created that desire, but then what do they do next? So typically, if you're creating an online ad, then you're going to tell them to maybe click the link below, or sign up here. Let them know explicitly, like sign up for my free training, go to my webinar, download your free ebook, or check out my program. whatever it is, whatever the next step is for you. Obviously, you can set up your marketing funnel how you want, and again, I'll be going into a lot more detail in my next videos. But for the purposes of this video, you want to have a strong call to action, but more importantly, you want to have like a singular call to action. Don't give them too many options, because that's just going to confuse them. Now, as you can see, the funnel started off pretty wide because you're casting a wide net, you're advertising to a lot of people, and then some of them will be interested in what you have to say. Some of them will desire what you have to offer. A few of them will actually take action on what you're telling them to do. So that's just the nature of things. So let's say you advertise and 10,000 people saw your ad. Maybe 5,000 will show interest initially. Maybe 2,000 of those people will desire what you have to do, but then most of them won't even do anything about it. And then maybe 500 of those people will take the desired action, and that's known as a conversion. You advertise and you converted those people into taking the action that you wanted. Anything from signing up to your email list, your webinar, going to your landing page, your product page, your services, whatever it is you have. Ultimately, you're going to be able to convert a few people. And just like any other marketing campaign, you want to keep track of your conversion. Over here, I use a hypothetical example of, let's say 10,000 people saw your ad and 500 people clicked on your button to take the call to action. That's like a conversion of 5%. So that could be like a good starting point for you. And then eventually what you want to do is run like different variations of the ad, maybe split test them against different audiences, or maybe use the same or similar audience but split test different ad, the creative part of the ad, different videos, see which one is converting better, and then over time what you can do is just increase those conversions.
A, B, C. A always be B, C closing. Always be closing. Always be closing.